Carl Shonen. Halftime.
Gather your gear. Get to the locker room. We got stuff to talk about. It's halftime. He's Carl Shonen. Howdy, Carl.
What's up, Rob?
Oh, not much. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger on the other side of the double pane glass. Thanks for joining us as you head to lunch. What sounds good today? If we had our druthers on what we could eat right now, chicken fried steak, big thing of mashed potatoes, some green beans, maybe some of those nice sweet yeast rolls. That would induce a food coma nap. That would make that 3 o'clock hour that much more fun. What about you, Carl? What'd you eat?
You need food to get into a nap? But I think that I would probably go some vegan pizza. There's some vegan pizza that I've had that's not too bad. It's pretty good, actually.
Carl. You know, you're too young to suffer the way you do. You should, live your life, and then, when you get to my age and you have to, start eating like that. I'm proud of you.
I'm not. I'm disappointed in you.
I'm starting to feel it, honestly. I woke up and did my Peloton today before coming into work, and I don't know if I feel better or worse because of it. I feel the exact same I feel. There's no difference if I get my morning workout in or not. We
can't all be James Pledger.
I know. Yeah.
James Pledger, our daily workout king. Instagram working hero, man. Putting on bulk, man. It is impressive. It's a little bit of effort every day. Get some fabulous gains. That's something my doc over at the IFF taught me. Dr. Torres. Just a little bit of effort every day. Be diligent.
I didn't realize that until I posted the like I was looking at that picture from March of last year. And then when I posted, I was like, yeah. There has been momentum and progress made. You don't think about it as you see it unfold real time.
I'm putting on pounds to prepare for our weight loss challenge.
You're bulking up for winter.
I'm bulking up for I got to get into game weight.
Here's the thing. I should too, because I almost died this past year when we had the freeze. If we have another one of those and we lose power, I may die.
Because you're too frail, too thin?
I was covered up in like 5 coats, 3 scarves, 7 blankets, and I was still freezing as I was without power for 4 days.
Yeah, that's roughly where I was too, and I was carrying a little extra weight. It didn't help.
It didn't hurt. Speaking as a guy with a fair amount of insulation, it could have been worse, I suppose.
Well, he's got that right. Vegan weight. It doesn't count the same.
Oh, see, I got like that seal blubber. It's full on insulation. It's like what's the K9, whatever that thickest insulation. That's what I got. I'm carrying that around. I got a boiler going on. We got some interesting news today, and I'm not sure how to make or break. We're going to talk a lot about the Spurs, but specifically, this DeMar DeRozan deal isn't done yet.
Yeah, I can tell you why. Do you want to know why?
I do want to know why.
Markkanen has something called a cap hold while he is a free agent, and the Bulls retain his rights. I don't know the value of it off the top of my head, but it's basically the snag here. Once Markkanen, that domino falls, that clears the path for the DeRozan trade to happen, but it has to fall first. And I'm sure a week into free agency was not when Lauri Markkanen or the Bulls expected this to still be dragged on.
Well, Markkanen's got to sign
somewhere.
There is a wild card in there, and he obviously believes he's worth a whole lot more than that tender offer. So maybe he won't sign, and maybe there might be a hiccup. And then, James, what's going on with Phoenix?
Okay. So according to Evan Sidri of basketballnews.com, he's a Suns writer for them. He's like, keep an eye on the names of Thaddeus Young and Larry Nance Jr. as the Suns are trying to package together Dario Saric and Jalen Smith to bolster their bench unit even further. Interestingly enough, DeMar DeRozan sign and trade not official between San Antonio and Chicago. Thaddeus Young could be rerouted to Phoenix to eventually make that a 3-team deal.
The prize in that is Jalen Smith. I mean, we know what we're getting in Saric. I appreciate Saric. I think he would be ideal.
I think the Suns took a nosedive as soon as Saric blew out his ACL.
It hurt him. It did. But Jalen Smith provides that one thing that they did not pick up through the draft or free agency, and I don't see it on the Summer League team.
Are you talking about a bouncy big?
That fluid, bouncy big that can defend the high pick and roll at some point and defend all the way to the edge. That's the one thing they don't have. And Jalen Smith, he's a high draft pick coming. He's the Maryland kid, right? The one
that's correct.
A couple of years back.
10th overall
that's
pick
the prize
last
in this.
year?
Yeah, he was 10th overall, and the Spurs were reportedly interested in him, but he was not available when they drafted 11th when Vassell was taken.
You can, if that's in play, man, Brian Wright might be playing chess here. I still think there's another move out there. This might be the move. This might be the move that gets the roster down.
There's probably
we're going to talk about.
I was about to say,
go ahead.
There's probably half a dozen potential moves that Brian Wright is interested in, but it sounds like a lot is being held up by this Markkanen deal. Once he gets figured out where he's going, that might open up some floodgates, but we'll have to see. The 76ers, it sounds to me from what I've been hearing on my 76ers rumor trails, is that they want to make a Dame Lillard trade. They're not thinking of it as a Ben Simmons trade. They want to get Dame Lillard, and that makes sense.
Makes sense. I'm not saying that the Spurs might be in it to get Ben Simmons, but might be part of whatever deal has to occur if they need to make dollars fit. But those two, that dollar's pretty close. Might not be a whole lot. Yeah, might not need a whole lot other than that deal on itself. We'll certainly look there. The Cowboys debuted last night on Hard Knocks. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm already taking crap. I haven't even seen it yet, and evidently I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I read this morning a phenomenal quote from Coach Mike McCarthy that I just kind of envisioned him standing on the gladiator floor, on the floor of the Coliseum, holding some kind of bloody sword, talking about going out and winning. A lot of curse words were in the quote, a lot of F's and A's and things and that's, and turns out it wasn't that, I don't know, crazy. James, you saw it. Do I have every reason to be enthused about a new attitude, a winning playoffs ain't enough, baby kind of thing going on around the Cowboys?
Jump all in, Freddie Kitchen style.
Well, did McCarthy do or do not? Did he? Or did he not say that?
He did that. Okay. He said it. There was passion. There was fire. But I see you doing that. I saw you do it with the Browns. I've seen you do it with the Chargers. I see it every year.
Chargers had me too. Yeah, they did.
Every year I see this from you, and you're like, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. These guys they're it. They're going all the way. And
so, a little quick. As an Eagle fan, what did you take away from it?
Dak Prescott's injury is more serious than they're letting on in the mainstream media. That was really the big takeaway, was that they didn't know what it was at first, which we found out obviously a few days later that it's the kind of armpit area. But the doctor, they had a mic up with Mike McCarthy when he found out. You could tell McCarthy was disturbed by the news right away, of course, as a starting quarterback. But he was really more disturbed by the doctor saying, I don't know if it's his bicep or his shoulder or his tricep. And that the main emphasis was Dak wanted to get back on the field, and McCarthy and company held him out.
I read a quote where Dak didn't want to leave, that he knew that they were trying to put him on a pitch count of sorts, and was like, dude, I sat out for too long. I read a blow-by-blow from John Machota of The Athletic, good friend of the show's, and I can't wait to see it, though. Evidently, it's not as good as I dreamed it would be. The Houston Texans are making news today that has to be addressed. According to the Texans, they are in training camp's over. This is the last day of training camp. Regular season starts tomorrow. Now, that sounds like not a whole lot. Maybe you'd think, well, maybe players might be excited. Now, do they get Tuesdays off and only one practice a day and no pads? Is that how it's going to work? No, they're calling the end of the regular season or end of the preseason so they can cut down the time the press can actually go watch the team practice. During the regular season, they can only watch the first 20 minutes of practice and then are forced to exit. So this is just a Belichickian New England comes south to Houston power play that needs to be addressed. What kind of crap is this?
This is a protection of Deshaun Watson. They don't want to do anything that would make Deshaun upset, and they want to keep him around, and I think that's it. And hey, Chris Hernandez tuning in while getting his second COVID shot. Congratulations. Thank you. Yes, get vaccinated, people.
Get safe, brother. Get safe. Get vaccinated. Get safe.
But this is a Deshaun Watson is probably tired of whatever mainstream media narrative is going on out there, and media is only allowed to watch 20 minutes of practice now. This is
so you're coming at it under the guise that the Texans still believe they've got a shot, that this is a way to protect his ego. And yeah, we're going to continue to work with you and let you do the things that we need you to do, and whatever that is, to keep you happy as a Texan. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but that's the way you see it.
They want him to be the best version of himself week one, because it's, by all indications, that's going to be where he is if he's active and eligible to play.
Rob?
James, what do you think?
I think this leads even more credence to what I thought way back when mandatory mini camps were canceled. This is all about Deshaun Watson. It's always been about Deshaun Watson.
Is it about protecting him or protecting the team? Why are they doing it? Why are they running the press
column
off?
A, little column B.
Yeah, it might be both.
They're trying to, A, keep him from the media scrutiny, and B, not have to answer themselves to the media scrutiny of every day walking out in front of the podium, giving updates of why he was doing what he was doing, why he was there, why he wasn't there. If you remember, the team showed up for voluntary OTAs. And they had a great turnout, and everybody came in and did their things for, 3, 4, 5 days. And everybody broke, went home, came back for mandatory mini camps, and the Texans canceled mandatory mini camps. I said it was because they were afraid that Deshaun Watson was going to show up so he didn't get fined. And they gave us the answer of, well, we had such great, attendance during the OTAs that we didn't feel like it was necessary to bring them back. And this was the carrot at the end of the stick for all of them attending the OTAs. When you have over 50 new players on a roster
and a new coach,
a new coaching staff, a new quarterbacks, why would you not seize every opportunity to get as much work in as you can?
Because you're trying to protect this guy. It's so crazy.
Exactly. I can't quite figure it out. I want to get into that, but one of the things we want to make sure you're aware of as you hit the streets going to get something to eat. And if you happen to swing by the Eisenhower Road, I'm sure the boys are hungry. But as you go, we want to make sure you're fully informed. It is time for Carl's Countdown.
We're going West Coast to start off the countdown. Headline 2, Russell Westbrook was introduced as a Laker yesterday. He still says it's surreal to join his hometown Lakers, and it still hasn't hit him yet to be part of the team that he cheered for growing up. It's a feel-good story, Rob.
Is it?
I guess it is, because Russell Westbrook, he finally gets back to L.A. Do you know how hard it must have been to play in Oklahoma City compared to L.A.? If you're an L.A. boy.
Well, they love him there.
They love him there.
Guess.
They did.
They love him there for sure.
Sent him over to D.C.
Is this the best big three LeBron's
No. Dwayne Wade. Okay. Dwayne Wade miles ahead of either of those guys. I think Chris Bosh is actually maybe better than Anthony Davis.
I think Kyrie and Kevin Love were better.
That was a good one too. Yeah.
Hot takes all around. I think it's going to work out pretty well. I think that they needed him because the one thing that they ran out of a lot of times was some offense. It's hard to believe, but they did. I think that the one thing that Russell will always do is attack. So you just let him loose when he's on the court and make him sit and watch the team game. I think it'll work out just fine. On
paper, this might actually be LeBron's most talented team.
There's
just
a lot to now. Age,
talent-wise, talent,
age, and old dogs and new tricks and spots and all that all come into play now. But that's pretty significant when you step back when you've got AD and LeBron and Russell running at you. That's pretty tough.
All righty, headline 1 here. is that the Spurs played a Summer League game last night. They had a good start to the game, but then in the second half, they lost their lead and ended up losing their second straight game in Vegas, 92-89 to the Chicago Bulls summer team. Trey Jones finished with 23 points, 3 assists. Devin Vassell left after only playing 7 minutes and 26 seconds with a hamstring injury. I wouldn't be surprised if he's held out the rest of Summer League. And Josh Primo was a late scratch only an hour before the game. Coach's decision, he did not play. But it played off well for Malik Newman and Jalen Morris, who both had phenomenal games for the Spurs. And maybe they don't end up in Austin. Maybe they can get some training camp offers, Exhibit 10 deals from other teams just based off of these rest games, if you will.
Malik Newman. Thoughts?
He was very impressive. He was impressive. He'll probably be on the Austin Spurs if he doesn't get an NBA gig. He had 19 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 15 shooting from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. Those are numbers you want to see.
Level.
Yeah, those are numbers you want to see.
Scored at every level. Hit threes, penetration, pull-up jumpers, rebounded, led the break, played a little lead guard, played it 2. That was the kind of effort that gets you noticed. That was the kind of effort that the Spurs don't have enough room. I don't think that was a G League performance. That was a performance to get you invited to training camp and get you on a team. There was a lot of respect there, and not to take anything away from Jalen Morris. There's skill there. That looks like a pop project if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, Morris had a phenomenal game. He had 20 points on 8 of 11 shooting from the field, went 3 of 4 from deep. He also threw in 5 rebounds, a steal, and an assist.
It reminds me a lot of the UT guard, Corey
Joseph?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Corey Joseph.
I could see that.
Good pace to his game. I appreciate what he did.
All righty.
Either way, he lost, but no big deal.
The wins and losses only matter to the players and coaches.
Yeah.
If you're a fan and you're mad about a Summer League game, go get a beer during the game. Come on.
True.
All righty. Good opportunity to just go to Twin Peaks and enjoy the game and not worry about the win or loss. All right, and headline
Good
0. This broke after R&R before we come on halftime. According to Malika Andrews, this is a tweet she sent out, Nets GM Sean Marks said that the Nets are talking to Kyrie Irving and James Harden about contract extensions. Marks said he is, quote, confident by the time training camp starts, Brooklyn's big 3 will be under contract with the Nets long term. So Durant already signed his 4-year, $198 million extension. If Harden and Kyrie were to take a similar extension, it would be 4 years, $161 million for Harden, and Kyrie would take a 4-year, $146 million extension. Conversely, Rob, they could play out the season, opt out, and go into free agency, and Kyrie could sign a 5-year, $235 million contract, and James Harden could sign a 5-year, just under $270 million contract. Those numbers courtesy of Bobby Marks.
I think James has to hitch his wagon to Kevin Durant.
I agree.
I think Harden and Durant need to join themselves and play till the end of their days together. I wouldn't sign Kyrie Irving early. I will stand by it. I said it a year ago. When this big 3 collapses, and it'll be because of Kyrie Irving. I love the player. I just don't like his game. I just think he's a detriment to the team. I think Sean Marks is wise in trying to do that. But would you offer Kyrie?
You have to. If you're a team that's gone all in on this big 3, they ride out the twilight of their careers. Although I think Kyrie's the youngest of them. He was the first pick in the 2011 draft, and Harden was 3rd in 2009, and then Durant was 2nd in 2007. So it's asset management. If anything, he is an easy contract to trade.
Exactly. I am sorry, and you hit it on the head. I like to say GMing is easy. Yes, you offer him. That's a movable deal. If you wait till the offseason and you suddenly get one of those nearly super maxes that will be offered from other places, then you're kind of screwed. I agree. And Kyrie would be crazy to sign it, but you're right. Sean Marks, play a little bit of Spurs GMing. Offer him now so you can move him later because he will be a problem. I just can't imagine a world where he won't be.
Kevin Durant does a almost Tim Duncan like job where he's the alpha, but he doesn't make you feel like you're a beta.
No, I completely agree. But I think more of that is him just keeping to himself. I think he leads by example. My goodness, we saw at the Olympics, he carried superstars. Superstars had to climb onto his back. So I think there's so much respect given. He doesn't have to do much, but just show up and be Kevin Durant. But he's not. Maybe he is a guy in the locker room that says and gets going. I don't want to presume that he's not, but he just doesn't seem that type to me.
His basketball leadership is very quiet and lead by example. Like I said, he's kind of Tim Duncan-like in that sense. And I think when you have James Harden and Kyrie Irving, there's still the very clear Kevin Durant's better than both of them. And when you have those two guys as your 1A and 1B, it's better to have Kevin Durant as the pure one, and he is.
I think he deserves absolute and complete respect, though that only is between the lines.
That's true.
Outside of that, he tends to be a little petty. Carl's Countdown, we do it for you on the teens to make sure you're completely and fully aware of all things sporting locally and nationally. Let's get back to the Texans real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So they just can go ahead and arbitrarily announce that, you know what, we're lowering the curtain. This whole training camp thing is done. Do you expect the NFL and Goodell are going to say anything about? And if you're just joining us, let me backtrack. I'm doing poor radio here. It was announced earlier today that the Houston Texans are going to end, as they're saying, training camp and go into regular season mode. As the training camp's been so successful, even before their first preseason game, they are ready to go into regular season mode. And what that basically means is the schedules of practices are going to change, and their attitude about the game day and all of that will change. But in so doing, so do the rules for press. If you're in regular season mode, all the press is allowed to see of any practice is the first 20 minutes, and then everybody shoot away. And you can get some post-game or post-practice stuff if you're allowed. But for the most part, that's the end of your coverage for the day. Well, the Texans are doing that right now. And, of course, it's to do something to do with Deshaun Watson, to protect either the team from the embarrassing questions or Deshaun from the embarrassing questions or everybody from the embarrassing questions. But they're obviously going out of their way to protect themselves. It can't stand. This can't be allowed, can it?
Yeah, if it's week one of the preseason, I can imagine that is within their rights to say, hey, we are moving to a normal schedule as if it were the regular season. Probably happens for every team at some point during the preseason.
This is unprecedented, Carl.
Is it? I think it's just Twitter news. We see news and we maybe overreact. My overreaction is, what if Deshaun Watson is the best safety in the league and they just don't want anybody to know?
That's your hot take.
No, it isn't. I just think that stems from it, if you will. The fact that they played him at safety, so you don't for put whatever it was.
You think this isn't necessarily true? You don't think this is necessarily true, that this is a misquote from the Texans and they're not trying to run people from practices and alter the schedule that has been honored by NFL franchises for forever? It sounds like a blatant attempt to run from press coverage.
Here's the direct tweet from Brian T. Smith from the Houston Chronicle. Hashtag Texans announced today is the last day of training camp. Coley hints at the same, moving to regular season mode Thursday. And then this is where he throws in his opinion, I believe. What does that mean? Media allowed 20 minutes of viewing at start of practice, then everything closes. If Watson takes team snaps, it'll be behind Patriots' wall. So have the Patriots done this before? Is this a Patriots move?
If they have, I'm unaware. It feels very Belichickian. It feels very patriotish. And that comes from not only up there, but all those that were up there that are now down here, that the press is the enemy. Well, I can understand in the regular season doing all that because you're protecting your game plan and all that goes along with it. This is preseason. This is the feed the media beast. This is the salad that we have to eat so that owners can fill their stadiums and get their local TV games paid for. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to make me eat salad, and then you're going to say, well, you don't even get that. You just got to have a cracker or two. The reel's coming in about 5 weeks. I can't see how Goodell can stand for this. You can't just shut things down because you're not comfortable with the questions being asked. They haven't even played a preseason game.
But they are in a preseason week, correct? Tomorrow would be the last day of their preseason week. Then they have a travel day Friday, and they'll play this weekend in Green Bay, correct?
Yes. Yes.
I see where you're coming from.
You don't go into game mode.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, and I also see where the Texans are coming from. So if it comes down to it, I don't think Goodell actually has the power to force teams to operate differently than any other team, or not.
Well, they are operating under the auspices of training camp's done. We're now in regular season mode. We'll unveil the team to you at the. That's fine. I understand, but this is a media-driven sport. You can't just shut things down because you're uncomfortable with the questions.
So Brian
I know
T.
the Texans are big time in the media.
So Brian T. Smith actually did have a follow-up to this. Now we're checking out the update
here.
Good. The update. Texans must keep full camp practices open to media until August 26th, like all NFL teams. So maybe they're still doing the actual scheduling, but the media must be allowed to watch the full practices until August 26th.
There we go. So a feeble attempt to block the media. It didn't work. They're going to have players in media, and just like everybody else, and we too will get to continue watching Deshaun Watson milling about and not doing anything.
But they have therefore eliminated fans from being able to attend.
No.
Yes.
That sucks for the fans.
Well, I think they can invoke that and you could probably just say for COVID purposes, and everybody go, well, all right.
Especially in Houston.
I don't think we would. Yeah, I don't think anybody would quibble for the reasoning behind it. I don't have an issue with that. But it sounded like a Belichickian try, a swing for the fences, and it didn't quite get over muster. So the fans will still be there, and the questions will still be asked. What the heck's going on with Deshaun? Because I've seen John McClain's tweets, and there's nobody in Houston media that I trust more. He's turned out to be right more times than not, far more times than not. And he stands by. There is no way that Deshaun Watson will ever play for the Texans again. Bottom line, end of story. So you can prolong it, you can cover it, you can put lipstick on the pig, but it's still a pig. Whether you try to hide it or not, what are they going to do with Deshaun? I think that this being pushed tells me more than anything else that Deshaun Watson's lawyer is a genius. Rusty Harden, I don't know what you're getting an hour, but you are worth every penny because he is pushing buttons. He is pushing the Texans, moving them to where he wants his client to be, to the point where they're trying to change the rules. Well done, Rusty. That's how you muck up the system. Hey, coming back, the Spurs are still not let me start this over. Proper tease. DeMar DeRozan still isn't traded. The deal still isn't done. If you haven't heard, the hiccup isn't even part of the deal. It's Lauri Markkanen. He hadn't signed his tender offer. The Bulls have this crazy cap juggle that they have to do before they can sign DeMar. Are the Phoenix Suns involved in this? Is there a player leaving that isn't even getting here? Let's look at where the Spurs sit on the biggest deal they've ever made that isn't done yet. We'll talk about it next. It's halftime, and you are on San Antonio Sports Star, 1250 ESPN and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio Sports Star is throwing a launch party Olympics at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar in the Medical Center. That's Thursday, August 12th, starting at 4 p.m. Medals will be given, and you'll have a chance to win Visa gift cards and more. Come compete against the San Antonio Sports Star crew. Win you some prizes. We're going to play some beer pong, some darts, some Pop-A-Shot. That's Thursday, August 12th, starting at 4 p.m. Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar in the Medical Center. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
El Wedo's Automotive Paint provides quality coatings and selection of paint supplies for your automotive finishing needs. El Wedo can match any color for that specific work you're doing. And if you own a car painting or body shop business, you have to compare prices with El Wedo's paint supply to start saving today. Come check us out at El Wedo's Automotive Paint for quality coatings and a great selection of auto painting needs. Located at 3108 West Avenue. Call us at 210-749-3116. 210-749-3116. Check us out on Facebook or Google at El Güero's Automotive Paint.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Here to tell you about my Giza Dream bed sheets. I made sure that they would be everything you'd ever want in a sheet set. I started with the world's finest cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region where the Sahara Desert, the Nile River, and the Mediterranean Sea all meet. The long staple cotton makes my Giza Dream sheets ultra soft and durable. They come with extra wide pillowcases to fit over any pillow and extra deep pockets to fit over any mattress. Not only that, they come with my 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And now you can get the best sheets ever for the best price ever. When you buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheet sets, you'll get another one absolutely free. I personally guarantee that they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
Go to mypillow.com and click on the radio listener square and use promo code SKY, S-K-Y, for this amazing special, or call 800-635-1825 and use promo code SKY.
O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstar batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extrava-Festa Save-A-Thon, the annual year-long event for saving big on home and auto insurance. These savings are available up until and straight through Labor Day, Halloween, Grover Cleveland's birthday, Taco Tuesday, the anniversary of the moon landing, White Chocolate Day. The sale literally never ends. You can come on Jupiter's Ascension, National Pisces Day, but not Leap Day. Just kidding. We're doing Leap Day because every day is perfect for saving money with a Home and Auto Bundle only at Progressive. But for real, we're not doing White Chocolate Day because white chocolate is gross. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Gonna miss you around here, Iris.
Olivia's best optometry technician is going back to school.
Did we get that new frame?
Her eye is already twitching about finding a replacement.
Ugh, this can't keep happening. We're gonna have to cancel appointments.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us tomorrow at Slackers Medical Center to celebrate the launch of San Antonio Sports Star. Her whole crew will be on site battling it out in a special edition of Sports Star Olympics, basketball, beer pong, darts, and you could win cash prizes, Sports Star swag, and John Mayer tickets. It's all going down tomorrow at Slackers Medical Center location starting at 4 with the Blitz, the official San Antonio Sports Star launch party with our friends at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We'll see you out there.
Rob Thompson, Carl Schoening. Halftime.
Call your electrolytes. Get them checked. It's halftime.
Hope mine are good. I'm Rob Thompson. He's Carl Schoening. You're on San Antonio Sports Star.
Had to
So
do
the
that,
Spurs-
teacher. Hey,
What's that?
had to do that, teacher. Hey, pay attention.
I'm here.
I need to be able to see when the ads and how many ads we have left and all that kind of stuff, so I can time it out a little
Or
better.
you could just listen.
There.
Yeah, welcome to this side of the fence, Carl Schoening. You never quite know. You're under the guidance and the leadership and the ownership of your producer. You're not supposed to know. He just tells you when to shut up and get ready. The mic's hot. Shut up. Welcome on to the behind the scenes of the halftime. We left talking about the Spurs, and I'm very interested in the ongoing movement of the Spurs. I'm sure every Spurs fan is. And the latest rumor started floating around last night that Phoenix might be in play for one of the pieces that was involved in a deal to send DeMar DeRozan to the Bulls in return for a couple of dudes. But Thaddeus Young was one that looked like to be a potential starter that would come to San Antonio. It appears Phoenix is trying to augment their bench by eliminating a little bit of youth and a highly paid snipe in the form of a Dario Saric and a Jalen Wilson.
Well, Jalen Smith turnover chain, but we can't send it over.
Chain? Dang it.
Yeah.
I'll be there tomorrow.
But remember, Dario Saric tore his ACL. I think that was the injury during the finals. So he's not going to be back anytime soon. That's
the prize here is Jalen.
That's exactly right. Or maybe a first round pick. But the Suns are looking for some kind of rotation player for. So Thaddeus Young was in the mix. Larry Nance Jr. was a player that they were reportedly interested in the same report. So it makes sense that they'll just kind of look around the league. Who's somebody that's not glued to his team that could help out Chris Paul and company? And Thaddeus Young is a starting 4 on most contender teams, depending on how your roster is constructed.
I completely agree. If I'm Phoenix, I'm certainly chasing him, and I wouldn't be opposed to keeping him at all, but for Jalen. That's the one missing piece of this puzzle. When we talked about what needed to happen in the offseason, needed to draft appropriately, well, they did, not exactly present time, but they drafted a guy that we've seen, and there's enough proof there. They adequately filled the bench with guys that can shoot. Went and got a couple of those. So check. One thing left is frontline support, and I'd hope to maybe see something on the summer league team, but it's not there. So if we're gonna check every box and call this an off season, at least in goals accomplished, an A, the bouncy big, that would be it. And there's still, as we said, 18 guys under contract for 15 spots. Maybe there's something there.
Zach Collins isn't bouncy enough, or is the health an issue there?
I think there's a health issue, but he could be. He could very well be that guy, but I don't see him being – I think he is here for a different purpose. I'm talking about a rotational rotational player, the likes of which that can defend 5, 4, and 3, can step to a three-point shooter, can fight through or handle a high pick and roll, can handle the roller, can do the opposite, can high pick and roll itself and be a rim runner as we get the guys like Trey Jones who are very good at getting to the rim, utilizing that part of the game that is now essential in winning. The one guy that is missing to do that could be a part of the next deal. Now, it might not be him, but I want to – if we're going to call this offseason a true – accomplishment, like everything we wanted to do, we did. Now the proof will be once the pudding is made, but at least we got all the ingredients. I think that would be a very appropriate deal, and I'm willing to wait on Sarge.
Are you saying you haven't heard the good news of Luka Šamanić?
I'm down with Luka again.
Oh, no, I know.
All I'm saying, is he capable of that?
Yes.
If he's capable of that, then I'm with it, but I have yet to see it. I'm telling you.
Like a Jehovah's Witness. Have you heard the good news of Luka Šamanić lately?
That's what I was getting at. I was having some fun with that. The player you described sounded like Luka Šamanić, and you actually asked me a question going into the draft. If the Spurs were to draft a combo forward, the likes of a Kai Jones or a Jalen Johnson, is that a message being sent to Luka that he's in trouble and he needs to step it up? So conversely, I throw the curveball back at you. The fact that they went with a guard like Primo, does that mean they have faith in a Šamanić?
I think by deductive reasoning, yes. Carl, you're winning me over. You are, because
about Luka?
As the season was done, what I saw of Luka was, hey, we're bringing him up. He, last game in Austin, it was 20-20, and he dominated the game. He lasted about 2 minutes against Oklahoma City. He missed 2 defensive assignments, like out of the box. He was floating, just kind of standing around. The guy that I was told was great in Austin shows up at Oklahoma City, a team that was not at full strength, and he looked awful. So that was my last taste of Luka, and I thought, well, this is a failed experiment. The dude can't even last a couple of minutes. You watched him all season. You called his games. I didn't. I will trust that this guy is further along than he is, and by that reasoning, I have to agree with you. They didn't go get his replacement, so maybe he's earned that spot.
I am of the thought process, all of the Spurs, they're going to be stepping into roles that they have not previously held. We don't know who's going to come out at the end of the season as the best player on the Spurs. Somebody's going to get that title, but I don't think going into it, we can actually definitively say DeJounte is the best player on this team. Keldon's the best player. Derek White. Luka is in that similar shape where he's going to have to step into a role he has never played before, and that might be backup 4.
Well, that doesn't put him in the argument for best player.
No. I'm saying all of the Spurs players on the roster are going to be going into a new role.
One of leadership, one of starting, all that. I think, and because the new role, I think it'd be more than one new role. Only got one center out there. One guy's going to have one consistent job. Everybody else is just going to rotate according to where the ball is. So, I think it's going to be a tough learn, and this might be exactly where Luka shines. But one of the problems I saw, or I'm sure Pop has seen too, that he tends to float. He gets lost. He's watching everything happening, and he's not part of it. He's a participant. He's not a player. That's a hard thing to get past. But once that switch is on, Carl, I want to believe you. I think everybody listening wants to believe you that this is it. And you made an argument that is hard to get by, that they did not and have not gone and gotten the guy because maybe he's already there. And you combine him with the strap, and maybe that post is already taken care of.
You gotta start calling him Jock at least.
Well,
no one's gonna know what you mean by strap if they're just tuning in on the radio. It's an inside
I got
joke.
a good idea.
Yeah, and he might prefer Jock.
Oh, I'm sure he prefers something different from strap. And when he gets here, I'll never say it to his face.
Thank you. Yes,
but you got to admit, it's a great nickname. If my parents had named me Jock, if you called me Strap, I'd be in. All in. Silence met. It's a different time. You can't taunt anymore. You can't. In the NFL, you can't taunt. We're going to talk about that in the 8 o'clock hour, or in the 1 o'clock hour. Can't put the that symbol, that funny thing that the Longhorns do, can't make fun of that. And now it's making into the NFL. Where is Dion when you need him? But when we come back, what if? We'll talk about it. What if, Carl? What if? This is halftime, and you, Lucky Devils, are on San Antonio Sports Star, 1250 ESPN and 94.5 FM.
The Dallas Cowboys travel to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals in preseason action.
Let's go!
Friday night. Coverage starts at 8 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
The Summer Spurs dropped their second straight game to start off the Las Vegas Summer League last night to the Bulls Summer League team, 92-89. 12th overall pick Josh Primo was a late game scratch, listed as a coach's decision. Devin Vassell only played 7.5 minutes and finished with 2 points as he left the game with a hamstring injury, while Trey Jones played 29 minutes and dropped 23 points to go along with 3 assists. Other Summer Spurs that stood out last night included Jalen Moore scoring 20 points in 23 minutes with 3 of 4 shooting from behind the three-point line, and Malik Newman dropping 19 points, dishing out 4 assists and securing 6 rebounds. The Spurs are off tonight, but will hit the Vegas floor again tomorrow at 2 p.m. San Antonio time. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you looking for a job where you can have tons of fun and make great money? Twin Peaks is the team for you. We're looking for Twin Peaks girls, cooks, bussers, barbacks, and more. Text WORK 4TP to 85000 to apply. That's WORK, the number 4 TP to 85000 to apply.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
You're a weekend do-it-yourselfer who likes to tackle the big jobs, tree removal, digging, hauling, or cleaning up a job site. For those big jobs, you need big equipment, and at Ewald Kubota, renting equipment is a breeze. Dependable Kubota construction equipment, tractors, zero-turn mowers, or utility vehicles. Get it done right and get it done fast. Right now, all new rental customers get a 10% discount off their first rental. This is the Ewald Kubota way of saying welcome. For a store near you, visit ewaldkubota.com.
More people are driving than ever before. That means a higher risk of you getting into an accident. Call My Collision Center first. Our professionals use original, not aftermarket generic parts at no extra cost to you. Aftermarket parts will bring your vehicle's value down. Your safety and satisfaction is My Collision Center's top priority. We work for you. We provide a written lifetime warranty and invoice verifying parts are factory original. If you have an accident and you want factory parts at no extra cost to you, choose My Collision Center.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hey, you should move over. Red right return.
Right, red right return.
No, just red right return because
No, I'm saying red right return, but then right to agree.
Okay, but you're on the...
I should have said correct. I know it's red right return, but...
You're on the left and it's red right return. Red right return.
The tides can turn quick on the water. Progressive has you covered as a leader in boat insurance. Get a quote today at Progressive.com.
Oh, I was on the left. Right.
Please stop talking.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late. And that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When your AC fails in the San Antonio heat, there is no time to search. Save Service First in your contacts and have an AC tech on speed dial 24/7. Service First. Save us before you need us.
Have Service First in your phone. 521-1500.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
And now, a man's thoughts on San Antonio sports star. What were you thinking?
That escalated quickly.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, it's Greeny, and I've only got 10 seconds, so here's my plug. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's halftime. Welcome aboard San Antonio Sports Star. He's Carl Schoening. I'm Rob Thompson. Gathering around the locker room as we do every day from noon to 2, diving in deep to the subjects of the day. Little programming news. Today, 5 o'clock, I don't know where you're going to be, but be very close to a device or a radio. Because Jason Minix will have Hall of Famer Drew Pearson, 5 o'clock today, catching up with Hall of Famer, Ring of Honor, an all-around good guy. It's cool. So 5 o'clock, he'll be on. So, Carl, what if? What if?
What if is always the question. But in the world of a multiverse, there's ultimate Unlimited.
Oh, What If is a show.
Yes.
It's a show.
Yes, it is a show that Pledger knows a lot more about. I'm big on Marvel, but Pledger blows me out of the water. He makes me seem like a casual.
What If is a continuation. And did you finally finish Loki?
I did, in fact, finish Loki, and I will tell you without hesitation, I am part of the Marvel Universe. All of the releases from WandaVision, which I felt was a little bit too into itself, a little bit too much, through Captain America and all that, through Loki. I'm in. I'm down. You got me. I'm in.
Because it is a continuation of where Loki left off with the exploding multiverse and the grand what if in the Marvel Universe. What if Captain Rogers never got the super soldier serum? What if instead of Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, and Peter Quill being taken by the Ravagers, what if it was Prince T'Challa? And it's also going to be very kind of emotional, seeing as it is Chadwick Boseman's final posthumous performance, as he will be once again reprising the role of T'Challa.
That's going to be a tough listen. Here's my, and I don't think I'm indicative of the audience that Marvel is chasing. I don't think when they got together and were writing the rest of the Marvel universe, hey, good luck, James. It's the best thing you've ever done for yourself. When they started going into it, they weren't thinking, how are we going to lure in a 55-year-old white audience? I don't think the white guy, old guy audience. I don't think I was part of it. But here's the deal. You got me. It worked. It's entertainment. And it's big budget entertainment, which I'm completely in. It's like little movies every week. I enjoy the plots. It's all new to me. But now I feel like you're taking advantage of me because you're dragging me down into cartoons and what ifs. Man, you had me.
We still do.
I don't know, man.
You're gonna watch.
Did you ever see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
I tried. I did. I really did. I tried. I wanted to like it. It was right after the other Spider-Man had come out, and I dove right in, and I lasted just a little bit because it didn't really match what I had just watched. And now we're talking about what if, and it's not Captain America. It's like Mr. Britain or whatever the heck's going to be going on there. You just got me. Why are you trying to change all the placemats again? Changing names and things. I just now figured out how this whole universe fits together.
It makes a lot of money. That's why, Rob.
True. I'm not going to disparage the quality of the product. I think it's probably going to be extraordinary. And you're going to go ahead and get me, but I'm just going to stay confused because then we'll probably come back to the not what if universe, and I'm going to be lost in the cartoon.
They have told us that what happens in What If is going to be canon and it is going to carry over. So you may see some of this adapted to live action at some point.
And
very strange.
And the next Spider-Man No Way Home is already confirmed by Sony to be the last time that they'll let Marvel create a Spider-Man movie. So I get the feeling that that's going to come in here.
Until they renegotiate.
Probably. Yeah. Doctor Strange has already introduced the idea of a multiverse. So we have a lot of things that have been building up to this, and we're going to see all that foreshadowing when we rewatch all of the Marvel movies and all of these Disney Plus series after Are
the video games that accompany the movie, are they up to quality? Are they good enough do they maintain the brand?
They've only released one video game, right? The Avengers.
It's only Spider-Man. Was that it?
Spider-Man's phenomenal, but that's
Spider-Man's
a
phenomenal game.
That's mostly a Sony game.
So yeah, that's where I was going. So the only real game that has gone that's corresponded or gone along with the movies is the Sony product.
Well, it hadn't even really corresponded with the movies. It's kind of its own standalone thing.
And there was a Avengers video game. I didn't play it, but it's based on a different timeline.
Explain to those like me, what's the relationship in Spider-Man and why is Spider-Man in a different studio and why is it going to end or will it end? What's going on there with Spider-Man?
Sony owns Spider-Man's rights. So Spider-Man's movies have to run through Sony. I don't know when Marvel sold him or his rights.
It was a very long time ago. So back when comic book movies were first coming up, studios were trying to grab every property they could. So people were buying different properties. You had basically Fox buying the X-Men and Fantastic Four and different things like that. You had Sony going out and buying Spider-Man. You had the Warner Brother or Universal Studios going out and grabbing the Hulk. And then slowly but surely, since the advent of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the forming of Disney getting their hands on it, they've been reacquiring. They just reacquired the X-Men and the Fantastic Four from Fox, and they are working with Sony and getting the rights, shared rights to Spider-Man back, and they're slowly acquiring everything back to get it under their umbrella. But this was back in the 60s and 70s when comics were exploding and movies wanted to make comic movies. Like, everybody was just buying things. So Marvel was just selling off its properties to different studios to do these adaptations.
So that's why there's that weird Ed Norton Hulk movie floating around out there that every now and then I tune into and can't quite figure out when did that even come out. So now it's all coming together. That's the what if that we were chasing. When does it start? When does it drop?
Today.
Or today?
Oh,
is it already out?
Big day.
Yeah, it's out. I've got to avoid things for a while.
Yeah, use that mute feature on Twitter.
It's another one of the extended series type thing. What, you got eight episodes coming?
There's going to be quite a few. I think this one's going to last in through October. So we're probably going to get over 10 to 12 episodes.
That is crazy. We come back in the 1 o'clock. We got a lot to talk about. The Spurs, the deals are not done, and there's some pretty tasty rumors floating around that might further benefit the Spurs. Russell is in L.A. Is this the best big three LeBron's ever put together? Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston? It seems like a no-brainer to me. I can't quite figure that out. We're going to talk about that about 1:30, excuse me. Hang around with us. We're going to give away some tickets. We got some tickets to the Hunters Extravaganza and further our sports knowledge here on Halftime. You're on San Antonio Sports Star, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM.
Didn't catch R&R in the morning? Here's what you missed.
The storyline of Kanye is entertaining.
I'm telling you, and bless his heart. I say that both.
You sound like a country dude. Like, that's all country folks say, bless his heart.
I know that he's got some medical issues that he doesn't tend to.
That's another country word, tend to. Well, that's country. It don't get no more country than tend to.
Rob Thompson, Rudy J. Weekday morning 7 to 10 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. It's the biggest sale of the year where all smart beds are on sale. Save 50% on the new Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, this is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. It's hot outside, and you know what that means. It's grilling season. Our slow-crafted smoked sausage has been made the same way for over 70 years. Pick up your favorite flavor from a store near you and throw some on the grill this weekend. I guarantee it'll be the best sausage you ever had, or I'll give you your money back. Find Kielbasa sausage at a store near you.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
O'Reilly. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help with all your car care needs. Whether you're shopping for parts, accessories, or supplies, we've got you covered. Right now, get Superior Coverall Tire Shine 2 for $16. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Keep your car looking like new. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Don't get caught in this San Antonio heat with no AC. Save Service First AC repair in your phone and have an AC tech on speed dial 24/7. 521-1500. For a limited time, save Service First AC repair in your contacts and get half off your service call and a free summer tune-up. For more details, call 521-1500. That's 521-1500. Service First AC repair and plumbing.
Have Service First in your phone. 521-1500.
License number TACLA 27100C.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
When my husband started having trouble in the bedroom, I thought, is it me?
But then we found forhims.com, and now our sex life is
better than ever.
Forhims.com connects you to doctors online who can prescribe FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. Then, Hims ships right to your door in discreet packaging. Just go to forhims.com/better to get your first visit free.
It was great to get what I need online without scheduling an appointment or going into the doctor's office.
Hims offers the same active ingredient as name brands and costs 90% less.
I couldn't believe how fast, easy, and inexpensive it was.
Rise to the occasion or get your money back. Go to forhims.com/better to get your first visit free. No copay required. The only way to get this special offer is to go to forhims.com/better. forhims.com/better.
At CDW, we get that a cyborg assistant won't make your employees more productive from home.
Please, call me Brian. I can vacuum your dog.
That's great. But at CDW, we can design a productivity solution with Lenovo devices that offer fast, reliable connectivity to help your people manage their workloads the right way.
Can I have a human hug?
No. For technology that moves you forward, trust Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo Client.
Join us tomorrow at Slackers Medical Center to celebrate the launch of San Antonio Sports Star. Her whole crew will be on site battling it out in a special edition of Sports Star Olympics, basketball, beer pong, darts, and you could win cash prizes, Sports Star swag, and John Mayer tickets. It's all going down tomorrow at Slackers Medical Center location starting at 4 with the Blitz, the official San Antonio Sports Star launch party with our friends at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We'll see you out there.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Carl Schoening. Halftime.
We're halfway through halftime. Save your orange slices. Get your electrolytes up. Got a full second half to get through, all the way to 4 o'clock. Don't forget, on the Blitz, 5 o'clock, Drew Pearson will join Jason Minix. Brand new gold jacket. Oh, that's right. I have to say it from now on. That's how you do it, right? Hall of Famer Drew Pearson will join Jason Minix. He set the world on fire there in Philadelphia, didn't he, Carl?
That one time when he announced a draft pick in Philadelphia, is that what you're talking about?
That one, yeah, that's the time. It was pretty cool.
That as an Eagles fan, and I'm sure the other Eagles fans feel the same way, we respected him for doing that. We booed him, that's for sure, but we respect the trash talk because David Akers came back next year in Dallas and brought it back just as hard. It was good fun. It was good fun.
Well, it certainly was, and I think that the beginning of that got him to where he was. That and the tearful, I can't believe it video. But he's in. That's all that matters. We'll never talk about such things again. And we're going to talk about the Cowboys in a bit. But I do want to talk a little and the NFL and the no hazing stuff, or the no making fun stuff. But there has been I don't know what to call it. Is it so we got a Woj bomb. Did we come up with what Zach Lowe's? Is it a Zach slap? What does Zach Lowe drop when he? So we've got a Zach slap that has dropped.
Zach Zap.
Zach Zap.
Well, he's got a low post, so I was going to say the low blow, but no, that's not good.
Low key tweet.
And he does a great podcast. Oh, low, that's good. That's good.
Low key tweet.
The low-key tweet from Zach Lowe is, speaking of the Spurs, and let's talk about what the situation the Spurs are in. This is actually pretty good, although I would be concerned if there was any other situation but this. We think we were told that a deal was in place, though not signed because of the screwy way the NBA does their business, that DeMar had been traded to the Chicago Bulls. And in return, we were going to receive players and draft picks and all that. But the deal was done. We expected it couldn't be done until Friday of last week, but after noon or whatever the date and the minute was, you could start signing contracts and getting everything taken care of. But salary cap juggling is part of this. You can't spend money that has been promised to somebody else until that somebody else decides that I want it. Hence the Bulls' predicament. They can't make the deal that they made until Lauri Markkanen will sign the tender offer that they offered him, which is about half about what he wanted. So they're going to have to make a deal or figure out what they're going to do with Lauri Markkanen to go ahead and make the deal that lands DeMar, that gets Thaddeus Young and draft picks to San Antonio. And as we sit and wait, Zach Lowe fans the flames of yet another rumor. And it maintains that the Spurs, along with the Golden State Warriors and the Timberwolves, are still actively in discussions to get Ben Simmons. What say you, Carl? This is an interesting turn of events.
So there was a lot to unpack there. First off, I just want to touch on real quick the cap intricacies that are going on.
Yes, please.
Because Paul Garcia, at Paul Garcia NBA, he's been on the show, writes for Project Spurs. He tweeted out about this whole thing yesterday. The Bulls have now officially acquired Lonzo via sign and trade and signed Caruso. Because of the Lonzo sign and trade, the Bulls are hard capped and might be waiting on a decision with Markkanen before completing the sign and trade for DeRozan. And it's a possibility they might be able to complete it without knowing where Markkanen is going, but it's really tough, and it would come down to what DeRozan is getting in year one and whether or not they renounce the cap holds to Makoa and Dotson, who are some of the Bulls' free agents. So there's some just things that don't need to be rushed going on behind the scenes. And I know we want the official announcement, but DeMar and Thaddeus Young trade is going to happen, it sounds like. Just a matter of when it can happen officially is probably coming down to Markkanen.
Lowry deciding whether he'll take the tender. And if he's going to take the tender, the only way, if I'm him, the only way I sign this thing is if I know I'm being moved. Because I don't want that money, nor do I know. I watched Patrick Williams play last night. I'm not sure Lauri Markkanen is going to get any space time, any floor time after they brought in Williams. That guy came and took his job.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. He's in restricted free agency hell, where you don't want to be, where if you go into unrestricted free agency next year by accepting the qualifying offer, you're hurting your value in two ways: your next year contract and your potential playing time with how loaded they are in talent. And then the other side of it is, that if you sign an offer sheet, the Bulls, again, asset management, are going to match that because you're valuable.
And cheap. If it's $9 million, that I think was the tender. Was that what I heard?
$9 million is the tender. I think the offers he's been getting, and he was expecting much higher, closer to $20 million north of that, are hovering around 13 to 15, which the Bulls would match in a heartbeat because he's valuable that way.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about what's going on in Phoenix. Dario Saric blew an ACL. Game 3 of the finals?
I think that's right.
It was basically the end of the Phoenix run once Saric went out. It wasn't solely the reason, but the team was never the same. There's talk that Phoenix is trying to update their bench. Who's reporting this, by the way? Trying to augment their bench and shopping their first round draft pick from last year was the number 10, 6'10" center out of Maryland.
His name is Evan Sittery. He's a writer for Basketball News based out of Arizona.
And certainly the Arizona connection. Verified, yes. So that would involve Saric and his bad knee and their number 10 draft pick coming to San Antonio in return for Thaddeus Young, who never really has had a chance to even arrive because the deal isn't officially done yet. He could be a pass-through on the way to Phoenix. What say you regarding that?
It's probably, if that's a scenario in which happens, it's Brian Wright just stockpiling assets, similar to what's going on in Oklahoma City with Sam Presti. There's that thought process in the NBA that first-round picks are the most valuable asset you can have if you don't have a all-star level player and higher, and then you don't want to trade those guys. So first-round picks are the best way to facilitate trades because there's no salary with them when you trade them, so on and so forth. So if the Spurs decide to maybe take on an asset, another young player, and that would be the thing, is you're bringing in another young player in Jalen Smith, then I guess that could be a direction the Spurs are going. But you got to give Pop some vets, Rob.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Now, James is shaking his head for those of you that are watching live on our Facebook feed or on our YouTube feed. And by the way, you want to watch us live. The best way to watch us absolutely live is come out to Slackers Sports Bar. On tomorrow night out on the Medical Center. We're all going to be out there. It's our launch party. It's our Olympiad. James will be out here as soon as we get off air. I figure he'll make it there by 7:30, right?
I'll be your 40-yard dash anchor leg.
There you go. Right, just in time to finish off the beer pong. But we're all going to be out there. We really want to see you guys out there. We're excited about what we're doing around here. We want to make sure we're part of the community. We want you to come out and meet all of us. So a great opportunity to kind of catch up after a couple of months away, over a year basically, and kind of finding our way here on the Sports Star. We want to have everybody out. We're excited about it. We want to see you out tomorrow night. One of the things we do endeavor to do every day is make sure you're completely informed. We want your news to be timely and usable when you get back to work. So Carl puts together the countdown of the things that you need to know. It's time for Carl's Countdown.
All righty, starting off with some college football news. The NCAA will not be punishing Baylor for sexual assault allegations. From the article on ESPN.com, more than 5 years after Baylor fired football coach Art Briles in response to a scathing review of the university's handling of sexual assault allegations made against students, including football players, the NCAA ruled on Wednesday that neither Briles nor the university violated its rules for their inaction.
What year is it again? What are we in? 2021? This isn't 2017 when this should have come out?
They take a long time to decide in the NCAA how they're going to punish people.
I don't know how or on what planet you can look at the facts and say Baylor was not at fault. I'll leave it at that. You can define it however you'd like. You can parse it however you'd like from whatever perspective you came from. But to say that the program bears no responsibility is ridiculous. We'll leave it at that. And the NCAA, seriously, 5 years later, on your deathbed, as you're about to go under anyway, at least you're saving Briles. Maybe it'll help him get a gig. Maybe that's enough to get him back into football. Maybe he's spent enough time in purgatory.
I agree with what you said. No need to add anything else. Headline 1, San Antonio Spurs assistant Becky Hammon does not want a head coaching job just to check a box. She says, hire me on merit, not to check a box. So I think a lot of people hire their head coach on merit. I don't think there's going to be anybody who hires a head coach just to be the first team to hire a woman head coach. And if there were somebody out there, it probably would have happened by now.
I agree. I think there was a time when if you're a franchise that was just so lost that the only way you could sell any tickets locally is to stir up the pot and make some news, that might have occurred. I know baseball's gone through that. But no, Becky gets the job because Becky deserves the job.
She was a great player, one of the most entertaining players I ever saw live across the entire sport. She's a great coach, too, so she'll get her opportunity. It was a little rough that she didn't get it this year for Spurs fans, but those same Spurs fans are also crossing their fingers that she has an opportunity in San Antonio.
Notice mine right here. I see him. I have stood by the fact that I thought it would be Bill Self. I still have part of me that believes that that's still in the works when Pop does retire. But I thought that because I believe that Becky Hammon would already be gone, that she'd already have a job by the time Pop decided to retire. Well, that hasn't worked out. Now, we know Pop, at least till we hear differently, will be coaching this year, chasing the all-time coaching record. But next year, Becky seems pretty confident. She might have that job already tucked into her back pocket.
And I'm sure it's easy enough to get out of, but Bill Self signed a lifetime contract with the University of Kansas. All right, headline 0. It's good news for the Colts as Carson Wentz is trending to play week 1, despite having a high school broken foot that popped back up, something along those lines. Weird injury story that has him out 5 to 12 weeks. Looks like it's going to be the shorter end of that estimation. And those are Carl's Countdown's headlines.
Let's see here. Now, didn't I read today that if it wasn't Wentz, that Sam Ehlinger has actually played his way into a possible start this week and might be the guy moving forward until Wentz gets healthy. That's actually pretty good news. For Ehlinger, that's a pretty good eye for quarterback in there in Indianapolis. If he can play, then Reich can see it. That bodes well for young Sam Ehlinger. That's good news. But 5 to 12 weeks, and Carson Wentz, we'll see. Do you believe he'll be the quarterback opening day? I don't.
I would err on the side of caution with a player that has his kind of injury history and go out there and throw Ehlinger into the fire. He is somebody who put up better stats than Kellen Mond in college. Obviously, you're talking SEC versus Big 12 defenses, but there's something there that made me a little surprised that he fell all the way to the 6th round. Ehlinger seemed like a 4th or 5th round, maybe a 3rd if you're reaching kind of quarterback, and he deserves some in-game reps, and if it's to help Carson Wentz be 100%, all the better for the Colts.
Very much so. I think Ehlinger's going to find some success there, and I do think he's going to get some reps during the regular season because that's what Wentz has proven to be, and he'll have to prove that he's not until we look otherwise. Carl's Countdown. Appreciate it. The games last night, we watched the Summer League with the Spurs. They ended up, fumbling it away, but that doesn't really matter. The game of the night, though, let's talk some Houston Rockets here. This team has gone through the ringer, finally excised the D'Antoni thought process and the Daryl Morey analytics and went out and drafted some talent. This might be the best this could be a Fab Five kind of rookie team that the Rockets field next year. We're talking everything from Jalen Green, that he looks spectacular. He was the player of the night. And then this the Turkish kid.
Alperen Şengün.
Şengün, that dude, he's got a little bit of Yao Ming move to him. There's not a lot of bounce, but a lot of wise footwork. For a kid that age, he looks pretty good. Christian Wood gets healthy. The Rockets are going to be fun to watch. I don't know how many games they're going to win, but they're certainly going to be in the playoff contention, and I wouldn't want to play them. They're the most talented young team I've seen, although there's still a couple that I haven't seen in Summer League. James, are you excited about what you're seeing?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. Josh Christopher also looks like he's going to be a very good part of this team. You got the people that played well last year, and Jayshawn Tate and Nwaba. And let's not forget, they just bought out from Real Madrid their other first-round pick this year.
Usman Garuba?
Usman Garuba, and he is on his
awesome.
way to the Summer League right now.
That's a good pickup. He is a Draymond Green starter kit.
And they signed Daniel Theis in free agency.
Yeah,
good for him.
Theis isn't bad. There's a lot of guys like him, but you need guys like that.
It's a glue guy that can bang with the bigs, and if you need somebody to go down low and play the 5 when Christian Wood gets in foul trouble to bang with someone bigger, I mean, he gives you that option. So, I mean, they've got a lot of pieces on this roster that I am fully intrigued by, and I haven't even brought in Kyrie Thomas's name, or they're so deep.
Don't go too far. Yeah, don't go too far.
Well, Kyrie Thomas played great for Austin in the Gubble, and that led to his contract with Houston, and that was his athleticism and defense are off the charts. So I hope that he sticks, because I'm a big Austin alum guy, but he hasn't had the best summer league. But he also has so many more guys to beat out than he did last year. Alperen Şengün last night in 25 minutes had 21 points on 8 of 14 shooting. And
Kyrie Thomas isn't playing center or power forward.
Yeah, but he has a lot of competition ahead of him is what I'm getting at.
Last year, Kenyon Martin Jr., they are so deep. Amani Brooks. I mean, they have so many players. You see them moving players to open up roster spots for some of these young guys. Like Daniel House could find his way possibly in LA at some point, because they're going to be in need of shooters.
Exactly.
Not a lot of vets, though.
They do
have to find their way.
I'm okay with that. I wish the Spurs would do this.
Well, there is a limit.
Sure, but look at what the Suns did in the bubble last year. Once it was ready, they added the vets. They added Jay Crowder. They added Chris Paul when it was time.
Oh, I'm not saying that it won't happen. I just know that when you don't have vets early on, losing can become a habit. When you don't have someone to teach you not to adopt that kind of habit, you don't have an old vet that will, give you the rules of the road and how things work. It happens to too many bad teams that load up on youth because they've been so bad and don't pay anybody and hope somebody pans out. Well, they end up having to lose everybody on those bad teams because they don't know how to win. And the Phoenix Suns did it perfectly. Just when it got as bad as it could get, they went and got Chris Paul. But they almost waited a year too long. And they had to get rid of some of these losers who learned how to lose and didn't know how to win to get there. So you have to be – it's one of those balancing acts that, Chris Pauls don't fall out of trees very often like he did for Phoenix last year. Got to be careful with that.
Got a question. Are the Spurs young guys learning how to win or be middling?
Well, yes. This was a team that manufactured a playoff berth minus a former All-Star and a guy that had told them they were leaving. I think that there's a certain amount of triumph to what they managed to do last year because they did it with a DeMar that was exiting and a bunch of guys that were kind of, trying to figure it out. It was not the easiest year to coach. I think to even be in playoff contention was an achievement. And I think if this team to be in the same position next year is going to be even more difficult. So the achievement's going to be measured this year. Can they fight through it again and get there? Do they know how to win games when it's there to be won? In the summer games we've seen, they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to win games. They don't know how to score. They know how to play defense at timely times, but they don't know how to go win. And we've seen 2 close games that they just lost. Now, I don't expect much, but there is a mentality that has to be adopted in pros and vets. Get you there, teach you that. Chris Paul has taught us that 2 consecutive years with Oklahoma City and Phoenix.
Do those young guys know how to score? Because what I've seen is a team that can't break 80 points. And
don't get into that, man. That's not about scoring. Last night we saw it. We saw a team that was hitting timely shots.
Okay.
Don't get caught in the final score of a summer league team.
Okay.
Because the Spurs are continually running sets. That's the Spurs way to find those guys. And Trey Jones is the starting point guard when they're not running sets. He's living at the rim and making kicks. I think the Spurs are playing, at least by position, pretty well. They just don't know how to win games. There's not anybody out there that's, I'm going to go get this. They fumbled 2 of them away, especially last night.
And
Carl, what do you know of the coach, Mitch
Johnson? He came up through Austin.
Tell us a little bit about him. Tell us about him. I'm interested in him.
The Spurs are always about developing internally because there's that whole corporate knowledge thing, if you will. So he was on Austin for, I think, 3 years. He was part of Blake Ahern's staff. And then while Blake was there in that 2019-2020 season, that was Mitch's first year with the team behind the bench. And the Spurs use the summer league to bring in random guys. And I say random just because you look at where they're from and you wouldn't get the connection. There's some connection there. I don't know what it could be. But for example, Matt Nielsen, who's the current coach of the Austin Spurs, he was a summer league tag along for the Spurs coaching staff. And Mitch is just the next guy up as part of this entire staff development plan that the Spurs have for their coaching staff.
Well, I looked him up. He's out of the Seattle area. In fact, before he got into coaching, he played at Stanford, coached up in Seattle, did a little EYBL coaching with in the Nike high school grassroots thing. Does he have a relationship with DeJounte?
I imagine he might.
Maybe he does, and that got him here.
Yeah, like I said, the connections looks random until you find out the connection. Oh, he went to Duke, or there's a Seattle guy there, and you'd be surprised how often those connections are how people get jobs, especially in the coaching world.
Absolutely. We talked about it on the R&R in the morning that the Las Vegas Summer League has become the basketball convention. Used to, there were several leagues dispersed all over the place, and it forced, scouts to kind of bounce around. This Summer League is not in LA. It's in Vegas for a reason. Lots of hotel rooms. It's 11-day road show, and everybody in the basketball world is there. So yeah, it's gotten to that point. I don't think that the Spurs are in this thing to win it like they did with Becky. Though I do appreciate watching a young coach like Mitch work. I think he did all he could last night. I know that he's bound by some strange substitution patterns that he has to abide by. Guys have to get minutes in this thing. But the loss of Devin Vassell early in the game kind of affected their game plan. But I thought that Mitch coached a very good game. You can see a future there. He might not be front row, but he might be angling for a back row job next year. Some young blood on that bench.
Well, Will Hardy is now in Boston.
Gone.
So
gone.
that opens up a spot. So, yeah.
Wonder where Becky sits.
Becky, I imagine, would be the if Pop ever so decided to have a tough 2 technical night, Becky's probably the first person up.
It's interesting yesterday. It depends on who's scouting the game.
Yeah.
Getting Becky Hammond's it's called in the business, we call that a good get. Becky's hard to come by. Anybody with the Spurs is hard to come by, and to get them to open up is even more difficult. Well, she's in Las Vegas right now, and yesterday she sat in with the group there on the jump. Rachel Nichols and Kendrick Perkins were also there at the jump, checking things out. And as Becky has gone through the spin cycle, or the car wash, as we like to call it, interviewed it all the way through this season, not getting another job, that isn't the end of the road for her. Preparing to be a coach and being a coach, well, she wants to go on her terms, and she feels like she's done enough.
On the day-to-day, obviously, I try to not think about all that stuff. I'm trying to be the best coach that I can be. And I think if I make that my number one priority, everything else kind of falls into place. Obviously, all these jobs, people say, oh, there's only 30 jobs. It's like, no, there's not 30 jobs. There's maybe 3 or 4. Those jobs are not all available. It's a super competitive field. There's a lot of great coaches in the NBA, obviously. And so it's just competitive. I mean, male, female, it doesn't really matter. It's competitive. And I think for me, is there another element being a female in this kind of element of it's never been done? We don't really know what that looks like or feels like. Okay, there's that. But at the end of the day, I want to be hired on my coaching credentials and just be, you're bringing in Coach Hammond for an interview. I think that's the best way to go about it.
In the perfect world, it is. In the perfect world, she'd have a job right now. This was a rare opportunity for not to get it. And there is a level of confidence I think you have to have. Do you think she knows something that we don't? That the job is already in hand? That there's go interview. But, and if you like the offer, you're more than welcome. But know full well, give us the right of first refusal. Don't go anywhere. Is it already taken care of, Carl? Can you envision a scenario where Pop has already sat Becky down and saying, this is your job. I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I'm not going to put any pressure on you. But when I'm gone, it's yours. Or do you think the Spurs are leaving their options open?
That's a possible reality. I too, like you said earlier in the show, thought that Becky Hammond would already be off of the board. And I kind of had Lloyd Pierce circled as the next potential head coach when he left Atlanta. Pierce. Yeah, I kind of thought that was kind of Nate McMillan's done a great job at Atlanta, first off. He's a great coach in his own right. He shouldn't have been fired from Indiana. But Lloyd Pierce was sort of the guy that I figured, even if he had a head coaching job, the Spurs might go after him down the road. But Becky Hammond seems next in line, similar to how Bud seemed next in line when Bud was around, and so on and so forth. Adore Messina was a potential next guy that could have been after Pop. So it might just be whenever Pop decides, and Pop might take this job as long as he wants, and that could be the rest of his life. Who knows? He seems to thoroughly enjoy coaching. He doesn't like the media side of it. He might not always enjoy every aspect of it, but he enjoys coaching, being part of a team. And I don't think anybody is given any indication of when he might leave because he doesn't know.
How many games do you need? 26?
26. He's sitting at 13-10, and the record would be 13-36 to pass Don Nelson.
His best friend in coaching?
Well, Pop already has the most wins as a coach in career wins, counting playoffs. So if he wants to pass on the regular season bit, I get it.
No, I think he wants to beat Don Nelson.
I do too.
I know I would. I think that is a worthy chase. But at that point, there's nothing left. And I know he loves coaching, and maybe his future is coaching back at Pomona Pitzer and taking bus trips down into L.A. to play his Thursday night game. But maybe you just feel like the end is near. And Becky certainly does feel confident. I'm very curious to see what happens next. I want us to continue on the NBA side of things. Russell is now a Laker. Westbrook has made it home. He can't believe that he's come all the way full circle from his days just outside of UCLA's campus to that couple years there to back home. Pretty good big three. James Harden, it was announced today that the Brooklyn Nets are endeavoring to sign him to a long-term deal along with Kyrie Irving. Who needs the ring more? Who has to really crown their career as we look at where James Harden and Russell Westbrook are, considering they came in together? Who needs it more? Let's talk about it next. You're on the halftime here on San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, we're going to give away some tickets. You want to get close to your phone. You want to go, you're a hunter, want to go to the extravaganza? We'll be right back giving them away here on San Antonio Sports Star, 1250 ESPN and 94.5 FM.
It's that time. Buses, school zone, study hall, and the classroom. It's back to school. And to make it special, you have the chance to win $1,000 in San Antonio Sports Star's back to school giveaway. $500 for you and $500 to donate to your school. Register now at sasportstar.com. Powered by El Huero's Automotive Paint and Supplies. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
While most water providers do a pretty good job making sure they exceed EPA guidelines, did you know EPA standards for tap water have not been updated in almost 20 years? With growing concerns of our aging infrastructure, more homeowners want to take their water quality into their own hands. That is why you should call Alamo Water Softeners and have them give you a free water analysis. Some chemicals and contaminants are undetectable. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
1911 Cigars is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas, providing quality, affordable cigars in a professional, inviting environment with a large covered patio with TVs. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the avid cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. 1911 Cigars at 207 South Main Street in Cibolo. Online at 1911cigars.com.
Yes, the nagging pain is impossible, and you do everything possible to manage it. But QC Kinetics patients like Chad found out it wasn't just managing the physical pain.
It was mentally, emotionally, it was affecting all parts of my life, my family environment. It was hard when you couldn't go and do the things that, you know, your wife wanted to do, whether you go for a bike ride or take the dog for a walk.
Like many of you, Chad's hip and legs ached constantly. Maybe it's your back, hip, or shoulders. But here's the best news ever. QC Kinetics regenerative therapies help your body restore that damaged tissue and finally give you the relief you need.
Just being able to do these types of activities that I have done in the past, I'm back now, and I owe that all to QC Kinetics.
That same relief's waiting for you at QC Kinetics. Don't wait. Call for a free consultation. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318.
Nobody protects you from mayhem in Texas like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light. Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. Or was it they go, you go? And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Not available in every state based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At CDW, we get the people who need to sign here aren't always here.
Tell me about it. I'm always chasing down signatures. I go through pens and shoes like chewing gum.
Sounds like you need Adobe Sign orchestrated by CDW to securely automate e-signatures and workflows across devices from anywhere. Integrating with existing tools, Sign can save your organization time, money, and miles.
Thank goodness I can finally take these shoes off.
No. Back on. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Adobe Sign.
In 2007, Marine First Lieutenant Travis Mannion was killed in Iraq after saving his wounded teammates. Travis's legacy lives on through the 5 words he spoke before leaving for his final deployment. If not me, then who? Words that today fuel the spirit of Travis Mannion Foundation. Words that live in veterans, families of the fallen, and inspired civilians who go out of their way to find a way who help others with the help of others, who bounce back after each setback, who make good on good intentions. Through Travis Manion Foundation, if not me, then who, are words that can live in you too. Show the world what your character is made of, because character is invisible until it's not. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans, families of the fallen, and inspired civilians at travismanion.org. That's travismanion.org.
Giving you an excuse for a long lunch break. It's halftime with Rob Thompson and Carl Schoening on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's halftime. Thanks for joining us here on San Antonio Sports Star. He's Carl Schoening. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger producing us. Hang around through the afternoon, go to 4. The Blitz will begin and getting you home. And right about the time you're thoroughly angry at the traffic, right about the time you can't quite figure out you're stopped here. We never stop here. What's the problem? That's when Jason will have Drew Pearson on. Drew Pearson will be on live with Minix today at 5 o'clock, our Hall of Fame winner, inductee, gold jacket wearer, and Ring of Honor inductee, Drew Pearson. I was talking about getting a ring stuff. Let's talk about something important. I just saw a highlight on ESPN. They're showing Sean Payton working his New Orleans Saints out, and he is still trying to feed us this line that Taysom Hill is going to be their starting quarterback for next year. I don't buy it. I don't understand why anybody buys this. He is not going to be the starting quarterback. And if he is named starting quarterback, that means they're going to run the ball on the first play of the game. They're going to bring Jameis in and run an offense.
What makes you think
Am I
that?
wrong?
What about what the Saints have done when Drew Brees got hurt the last 2 seasons leads you to believe that Jameis Winston is the next up?
Because when they threw touchdown passes, it was Jameis Winston throwing them.
So I was actually, I heard you talk about this before the show, and I am not a New Orleans Saints fan, nor do I see too many of their games. So I go to my handy Pro Football Reference, and I trust this, but I was a little shocked by what I saw. Last year for the Saints, Jameis Winston started in 0 games. He played in 4. I assume those are the 4 that Drew Brees didn't play, and he only threw 11 passes. Meanwhile, the other side of it, Taysom Hill started 4 games, went 3-1 as the starter, and he threw 121 passes with a completion percentage of 72.7. And he is very Swiss Army knife. I have heard coverage and people's thoughts about Taysom Hill. It's a very unorthodox offense, to put it lightly. They're going to have to come up with new schematics every week to make him successful. But he is the dual threat that Jameis is not.
Everything you just said, I agree with. But it doesn't translate to winning football games. This won't translate again. You can't have a quarterback throwing for 900 yards and 4 touchdowns. Which is, I don't care how many games he plays, that's what you'll get next year. You can try the trickeration, but it is window dressing. And if they don't have Thomas, maybe that might have to run a little bit, but you can't run an offense where you never pass the ball further than 10 yards down the field. Now, Drew Brees got away with it because he's a witch. Drew Brees is a different breed. He's capable of not being able to throw the ball 20 yards downfield like he wasn't for the last several years and still functioning in an offense. Well, there ain't no Drew Brees anymore. It's Taysom Hill. I don't have to worry about the ball coming through a bathroom window because it's not. He needs a kitchen window. He needs a sliding glass door. So the defenses are going to be different. The offense is going to be different. This is the beginning of the end. What are they going to run? The option? I mean, he's not even close to Lamar Jackson. This isn't even, we're not talking about the same type of mobile quarterback. He's certainly not the same as Kyler Murray. This is truly a running back.
Should they make a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? I just don't think either of them. I don't think either of them are even have the potential to be a top 15 quarterback. And to win in the National Football League, you either need to have an elite defense or a top 15 quarterback. I don't think either of those are in the New Orleans. What do they do?
And I've always been a fan of Sean Payton. I think he's making the best of a bad situation, but I just cannot see a scenario where Jameis Winston does not take more snaps during the season. And we're gonna see both, I'm sure. But you got to be able to throw the ball downfield, and maybe it'll slow down Jameis coming back with no Michael Thomas. You might be kind of like, what's the point? As it appears, he won't be there to start the season. But Alvin Kamara, you better strap it on, man. You are all they got.
Let me ask you a question, Rob. What's more important to a head coach? The 30 touchdowns or the 30 interceptions? Because if he's continually turning the ball over, why wouldn't they turn to Taysom Hill?
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I would like to think a year and a half under Sean Payton has kind of pulled the reins back on what Jameis thinks is an acceptable pass to be thrown. And if he's throwing INTs, yeah, sit him down. I'd much rather have Taysom Hill 100% of the time than 30 and 30. You can't win football games like that. I put that back up there, James. Franklin, we appreciate this, and I think this is an apt description. Tim Tebow or Taysom Hill. They're the same guy. When it comes down to it, you can win some games doing what they do. But when it comes down to winning a big game, it doesn't work. There's a reason why Peyton Manning ended up where he did. You got to have a quarterback. Tebow was enough to win some big games, but not the biggest, and he never will be. You got to be able to throw the ball downfield.
We'll have to see. That'll be probably the most interesting storyline in terms of quarterback competition, because you don't really trust either to be the quarterback to take you to the promised land, especially after Drew Brees.
As we wind down the Sean Payton era in New Orleans, it's going to be a tough one. He's got a new movie coming out about his time away from the football field when he was suspended. He went and coached a little kids team. They're making a brand new movie about it. So, he's Mr. Hollywood now, Sean. And maybe at some point, if the things don't work out in Dallas, there's many people that are longing for the day Sean Payton arrives where he probably should have always been as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, instead of a mistake in judgment and relationships that Jerry made those years ago that led to a long and average Jason Garrett tenure. Hey, we're going to come back. We're going to put a bow on the show. Look forward to this evening. We're going to give away some tickets to the Hunters Extravaganza. Let's do that now. For those of you heading back to work, the Hunters Extravaganza is just around the corner. It starts next week. It's out at Joe Freeman Coliseum. It is a lot of fun. It is the only real hunting show in all of Texas. If you need more details, you can go to huntersextravaganza.com. But I want to give away a pair of tickets. 656-ESPN, 656-3776 are your Kielbasa Bacon phone numbers. I know the hunting audience is not wide and dispersed, but I do want to, whoever wins the tickets and whoever calls in, I want to talk to them because I have a question that's kind of an ongoing debate amongst my hunter friends. Box 8 or muley tines? What are you chasing? If you know what that means, call 656-3776, 656-ESPN. If you had your druthers, you want a mule with some drops? That looks pretty on the wall. Or what about a perfect box 8? I don't know which one I'd prefer. I think I'd like the box 8, but those muleys are pretty. If you want to go to the Hunters Extravaganza, 656-3776, 656-ESPN, get on those Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. I've never been a big fan of the eating contests, but we're going to talk about a drinking contest that I think is probably life-threatening. 2 liters in 18 seconds? Let's go to the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. Saul. Welcome on, man. Good. I'm glad you called. You getting ready to go to the Hunters Extravaganza? Are you a hunter now?
Not too much, man. But my father-in-law and his uncle is, so I'm trying to get in his good graces.
Hey, perfect, man. The Extravaganza's got everything. Have you ever hunted?
No, not. We're actually supposed to go in a couple of weeks. So. Oh,
good. Well, go shoot some dove, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, Saul. I want to keep you in contention because I'm always about having new hunters join. Let's go to line 2, James. Who do we have?
Be Blake on line 2.
Blake, welcome aboard, man. You're on halftime.
Hey, how's it going?
You a hunter?
Yes, I am.
All right. If you had your druthers, you could put something on your wall. Are you chasing a beautiful box 8? I don't care what the B and C is, but typical, beautiful box, or maybe something a little bit more atypical with a little bit of a muley drop? I know it depends on where you're hunting, but what would be your choice?
I'd take the muley drop.
Cool. I'm with you. We got a winner. Guy chasing a muley drop. Hold on tight, man. We got to mail you those tickets. You're going to the Hunters Extravaganza. It's coming up to Joe Freeman next week, the 20th through the 22nd. If you didn't win your tickets, we're still giving them away. Hold on. So you might give you some in a bit. We want new hunters to get started, but he won my heart. I'm chasing the muley drop this year. HuntersExtravaganza.com. The Texas Trophy Hunter Extravaganza. It's their production. It's next week. When we come back, a 2-liter drink in 18 seconds, and it's a Coke. Sounds like it would kill you. We'll talk about that and other eating extravagance next here on Halftime. You're on San Antonio Sports Star, 1250 ESPN and 94.5 FM.
Bet you can tell me when the last Spurs championship was. But can you name your congressman? Sports or politics? The answer is obvious. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
The Cowboys edition of Hard Knocks premiered last night. In an interview with Dak Prescott to begin the episode, Dak says that he ended up having 2 surgeries on his broken ankle, which delayed his expected rehabilitation timeline. The full episode followed familiar Cowboys faces, Jerry Jones, and some of his day-to-day activities, the friendship between Dak and Zeke, as well as Ezekiel Elliott's new slim look, the perspective of Coach Mike McCarthy, a look into Micah Parsons' passion for the game, and, of course, how Dak has been taking his injury suffered during training camp slow. And the episode wrapped up with a fun behind-the-scenes ticket to the Hall of Fame game versus the Steelers. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Staples Connect has everything for back to school at amazing prices. Right now, Crayola 12-count colored pencils and 10+2 Crayola marker bonus packs and Bic Round Stick Ballpoint Pen 10 packs are just 97 cents each. So you won't just be ready for school, you'll be Prepared Parent of the Year ready.
I just want to thank my family and Staples for making this possible.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com/back-to-school today and get more than ready for school. Ends 9/18, limit 30 on Crayola. Bic pens in store only.
First comes love. Then comes sparkle. And that's where Diamonds Direct comes in. Engagement ring shopping is so easy at Diamonds Direct. Step 1, choose your perfect diamond. Step 2, choose your setting. Step 3, relax. Your Diamonds Direct engagement ring comes with a free lifetime warranty. That's no charge ever for sizing, cleaning, and routine maintenance. Step 4, the most important one. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redwood Road.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
When my husband started having trouble in the bedroom, I thought, is it me?
But then we found forhims.com, and now our sex life is
better than ever.
4hims.com connects you to doctors online who can prescribe FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. Then, Hims ships right to your door in discreet packaging. Just go to 4hims.com/better to get your first visit free.
It was great to get what I need online without scheduling an appointment or going into the doctor's office.
Hims offers the same active ingredient as name brands and costs 90% less.
I couldn't believe how fast, easy, and inexpensive it was.
Rise to the occasion or get your money back. Go to 4hims.com/better to get your first visit free. No copay required. The only way to get this special offer is to go to 4hims.com/better. FORHIMS.com/BETTER.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Don't let a slick Willie or some Johnny-come-lately throw you a fast one. Go with a trusted pro you can count on. Your independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer is trained to be the best. Quality service before and after installation. American Standard Air.
Ask the pros at Aramindia about their exclusive Advantage program. American Standard equipment installed, worry-free, maintenance included for one low monthly price.
ARAMENDIA, Aramindia.
License number THCLA 447668.
The Dallas Cowboys travel to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals in preseason action.
Let's go!
Friday night. Coverage starts at 8
I love it!
on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Nothing but uppercuts. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Halftime's almost done. Gather up your towels, stack them in the corner. Hit the field like you mean it. Play like a champion this afternoon. He's Carl Schoening. I'm Rob Thompson. That's James Pledger. Don't forget the Blitz at 4 o'clock. Don't forget tomorrow. We're going to be at Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar up in the Medical Center. Brand new, beautiful bar. They opened it a couple months back. We're excited to have our launch party, our first of many. It's going to be tomorrow night. Head out there. The show will get going at 4. We'll be going all night long. We're going to have people signing up to play some Olympic-style events with us. We're going to team up, do some Pop-A-Shot, play some darts, beer pong, and I don't know, everything else that goes along with a launch party at Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. It's going to be a lot of fun, so just plan on it tomorrow. Head out there. As soon as you get off work, we're going to be there all evening long. I'm awfully excited about being out there tomorrow. I mentioned Drew Pearson on Minix today at 4 on the
5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock. Blitz starts at 4. 5 Live, Hall of Famer, Drew Pearson. Put it in the books. A couple things we want to get to. First and foremost, I teased this. I do want to talk about it. One of those guys that's forever contending in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. I think his nickname is Brickhouse or
Eric Badlands
something.
Booker.
Badlands, that's right. Badlands Booker turned a 2-liter bottle of Diet Coke or Diet Cola, as it was described, and downed it in 18 seconds.
Is anybody really ever in contention at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest when Joey Chestnut's just breaking his own record every year?
So Booker's,
well, there was that Kobayashi there for a while. That was pretty good.
And apparently Booker is ranked 23rd in Major League Eating, and he's looking to make a solid food challenge for his next challenge to break a world record.
23rd, is he?
I guess.
So at one point, he might have been 24th, and he was looking for 23. 22, you got a target on you. As what's his name? Badlands is on his way. 18 seconds seems like it could be broken.
2 liters?
I'm just saying, 18 seconds seems like it could be broken.
I feel like I would burp halfway through.
Well, there is a fair amount of burping. I come from this place up a little northeast of us, this College Station place, where there's a tradition where when you get your graduation ring, you put it in a pitcher of beer, and you
ring dump.
I don't recommend it. It's not safe to play with kids, certainly. and probably not the best thing to do ever. So I recommend you do it in the safety of your own home. But I've seen it done much quicker with beer. Much, much quicker. Like frighteningly fast. Like, I can't believe that just happened fast.
My friend Brett did it in 19 seconds, and he would have done it faster if he didn't breathe.
19 seconds. See, I've seen it done quicker than that. I'm talking about, I've seen guys like just pour it down their throat. Like, I don't know how you can even do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. They practice
Now
too.
Now they've kind of wussified it a little bit, right? I see them mostly drinking out of just glasses instead of the whole pitcher.
He did it out of a whole pitcher.
So Kevin Garnett, we got to play this because it's too funny not to.
Okay.
James, where'd you find this?
All
I've
the
always
Smoke
contended-
podcast. Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes.
Which is on its own in another universe for lots of reasons. If you're not following all the smoke, you got to be on there. Well, Kevin has lived in the smoke for a long time. I think that if it wasn't for Tim Duncan, that Kevin Garnett would be considered a good player, but not a great one. But he was playing in the foreshadows and got himself a lucky world championship. Never been a fan. But Tim Duncan knew how to play Kevin Garnett perfectly.
Was there someone that you loved, you knew that the motherfucker back it up, Andy was going to talk it to you?
Believe it or not, y'all, Tim Duncan. Shout out to Timmy. Tim Duncan, people would not see him verbally saying stuff because he wasn't talking sentences. Timmy would hit you in phrases. Got you. Ooh, almost. This the worst right here. Nice try. Like subtle shit. No gangster shit, no real hardcore shit. Just subtly, just back your ass up and put you back in like this over here.
Kevin Garnett on all the smoke with Steven Jackson and
Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes. That is the ultimate in trash talk. You have to ascend to a level where that alone is enough. Nice try. Oh, that'll cut your heart out. Almost.
He
The
did
relationship between.
He did
No, go
that to Eton Thomas, where he basically gave him in-game tutorials on how to do a hook shot. It's like, no, put your body into me a little more. Almost got it that time.
So if he played in the NFL, would that be considered taunting?
Probably.
The NFL's mad about that. Can't wave goodbye. Deion Sanders somewhere out there is upset. Call him coach, but call him angry. You can't take away everything from the NFL. You can't wave goodbye. You can't do all of that. We'll talk about it tomorrow. This has been the halftime. Carl, say goodbye.
Adios.
School's out for summer. But if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. Their manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system. No matter how big your business grows, with visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more, NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. Automate your processes with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating to NetSuite. Special financing is back. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to graduate.
Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, get them fixed. Hi, Jason Minix here for New Brakes.